Hey, welcome to Gold's Garage again today. And so this is Todd Brown's 389 block. We just got it back and unloaded it from the machine shop. We had him put a nice hone in it. They hot tanked it for us. Did a bunch of work. Did not have to bore the block. The cylinders are in good shape. So if you watched the previous video about this, Todd brought it to me. It's got a 1965 GTO. It's original, correct, matching numbers block for Todd's 389, so it's pretty darn important. And it when he took it apart, took it out of the car, it wasn't running very good. So I disassembled it on a previous video. And, it had some miles. So externally, the oil pan was dirty. It had some, oil seepage and road film and stuff. So it wasn't as if it was brand new, but the engine had been rebuilt professionally prior, and it had done a nice job. And actually, the problem he brought it to me for, it had a miss in it, and Todd had a borescope himself, and he was able to determine that one valve lifter wasn't coming up the way it's supposed to. And so he knew that he had a problem with the camshaft. And so we verified all that in the teardown. And typically when you see a camshaft failure, more than one lobe fails, shrapnel gets into the oil, it scratches up the bearings, scratches up the crankshaft, even scratches up the cylinder walls a lot of times. We did not find any of that when we tore this engine down. The crankshaft's in excellent shape. Even the bearings were reusable. We're not going to reuse them. We're putting new bearings and rings in it, but just rehoning it, as I mentioned. But everything was in really good shape, and everything that looks like in the engine had been done correctly. However, one camshaft lobe, only one, and one valve lifter, of course, failed, and failed pretty bad. The lobe was pretty much gone off the camshaft lobe. So when we took it to Atchison Machine in London, and they hot tanked it and magnaflux it, we use the term magnaflux, which that means is magnetic particle inspection. So what they do is they spread iron filings on the block, induce a heavy magnetic field with huge electromagnets, and if there's a crack anywhere, the little iron filings will line up with the crack. Well, they found the crack, and Alex is going to come in here and show it a little closer. The crack was right here. It was just a hairline crack, very slight, and it's been repaired with a process called pinning. So what the machine shop does, I am not able to do that, and a lot of machine shops probably aren't, but the Atchisons can. They drill it and press fit a succession of pins that overlap. There's actually 13 pins in this repair. And so it's successfully sealed. No issues whatsoever. We've had not a lot, but quite a few blocks repaired this way in the past, and it's always been successful. But here's the important point. I mentioned cause and effect analysis or failure analysis. So the lifter that failed was number one intake lifter, this one right here, and this cam lobe. Every other lifter in the camshaft looked perfect and good condition, and everything else, the engine was fine. So here's my theory. If you have a slight hairline crack right here, every time the engine gets shut off, the water temperature is probably 220 degrees. If the rad cap on it is 15 to 18 psi, you have 15 to 18 psi of pressure in the water in the cooling system. And when you shut it off, when it's running, oil will flush any seepage away. When you shut it off, water can seep out of that little crack slowly, just enough to get down and fall into the lifter bore, where the lifter fits in number one intake lifter. That's the one that failed. Water sits there. Next time you go to start it up, there's enough water. There's only a half a thou to a thou at the most clearance between a lifter bore and a lifter. Very little. A little bit of water gets in there. Water is a terrible lubricant, and that lifter is not turning. And as soon as that lifter stops turning, it begins to fail. And my theory is, my hypothesis is, that's what happened. So otherwise, this engine would probably be still running fine. Everything else inside was in good shape. Unfortunately, we got to rebuild the whole thing because of this. So let me know what you think. Lots of smart guys out there watching my videos and with lots of experience and Pontiac experience. And please like and subscribe before I forget. But this is a short video. I wanted to get this thought out to you and see what you think, whether my theory makes sense to you, that a little bit of water seeps down every time we shut it off. It's got lots of time. Maybe the engine doesn't get started for a day or two. Just enough to get between the lifter and the bore. Lifter stops turning. As soon as that happens, the cam starts to fail, the lifter starts to fail, and the rest is, as they say, the rest is history. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching Gold Scratch.